Hi, my name is Angie. This is Chocolate Sunday Part 5. Um, I'm really sorry that the visuals keep freezing. I'm going to try with no music and I'm going to get my laptop cleaned up next week. And if not, I'm going to save up for an Apple Mac Pro because this is really frustrating. But anyway, blah blah. Continuing from part 2 and 4, talking about inheritance. Welcome. Um, yeah, so I was thinking Dad's coming to help me build my house on my 4 acres that he promised me as a sweetener in return for giving our family farm to one of 5 daughters. But really, what his agenda was when he came and said, like, where are the plans and how much were your costs and so on, his agenda really was he was going to go ahead and take back from me what he'd given me and what I'd never had the courage to have him put in writing, which was 4 acres, you know, and the fact that I got planning permission on the land. There had been previously planning permission on the land and it had lapsed, but if there is planning permission, the chances are it would be granted again. So, it was weighted in my favour. But anyway, Dad gave me 2,000, which he estimated to be my costs for getting planning permission and getting the land fenced off um, and getting the designs drawn up and getting planning permission granted. He gave me that 2,000 and I still didn't figure out, actually, he's taking this back. I didn't figure it out, I really didn't. But that's what he did. He took it back. He told the planning department in Meath that I'd gone back to America, which was a complete lie. And that I don't know what reason he gave them that he was going to go ahead and build my house. But anyway, he told them the reason he was taking over the planning permission and the paperwork was because I'd gone back to America. Um, and I'm not sure if he even went as far as to forge my signature, but anyway, he fraudulently carried out my plans and built my house, my beautiful, beautiful house. And the builders compromised it a bit. They used to be connected to teepees. Hamiltons, I think they were called, and they're living in Navan now. But anyway, they built it and they compromised my plans a bit. I had it up on the hill with the spectacular views, but they built it closer to the road because it was cheaper for connecting to electricity and phones and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And anyway, and they cut down, like I had a stable block on the back for my horses, so that actually it was a courtyard. It was so gorgeous. It's like I had a 3-sided courtyard in the back of my house in my head and in my real plans, where I would look out of the living room and see my horses with their heads over the stable doors, and they're 3 acres behind to graze on and so on. But anyway, they did a good job. And actually, this Hamilton guy turned out to be a bit of a hero because he offered, he was so nice to my dad from what I've learned since. Like, he said to my dad, look, there's no rush on this. We'll build the house. You don't have to pay us until it's like built, or you sell it or whatever. He's like, there's no rush on it. Just you go ahead and do what you think is best. We'll just build the house according to the specifications and you just pay us when you want to, when you either get a mortgage or when you sell it or whatever. He was absolutely, actually, that was really, really noble. Um, and my dad, who has this inbuilt mechanism that you don't hold on to anything good, kept saying to him, no, 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 I want it sold, I want it sold. I want it over, I don't want anything left of it. No, you build it and you sell it and blah, blah, blah. So it was this crazy deal where my dad gave me 2 grand and I think he accepted 12 grand off the builder for the site planning permission and plans, which was just insanity. And he had no right to do that. And in actual fact, when I found out what he'd done and I got over the devastation, because as they were building it, I kept stopping by in my car with my kids and, you know, living in my council house. And I kept stopping by and looking at it and thinking, oh my God, isn't this so exciting? They're building my house. And they used to look at me like I was a crazy woman, you know, but I did. I just kept stopping by. But that wasn't the plan at all. I lost my train of thought there, but it's okay. So the Hamiltons built the house. Dad conned the county council. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. When I eventually found out what had happened, I went to, I actually didn't even go to solicitors because I couldn't afford to, but I contacted Trim Circuit Court and I said, look, you know, I had planning permission on land my dad gave me. I got plans drawn up. I got the permission, blah, blah, blah. He's like lied about why I'm not building, and he's forged my signatures as far as I know, or taken over like power of attorney or something without my permission. Like, what can I do about that? And the circuit court were amazing. First of all, they said get a solicitor, and I said I can't afford it, and you can't get legal aid on land claims or something, you know, land disputes or family disputes. So unofficially, the circuit court helped me. They were lovely, and they advised me, and they told me what to get together and what to do. And I actually prepared a court case to sue my dad for taking over my planning permission without my permission, and for like fabricating stories as to why I wasn't building and why he was. And the courts indicated to me that I probably would get 50 grand in the court. I'd get the price of a site and, you know, plans and architect designs and expenses. You know, they said you won't get your house back. It's built now. But you'll certainly get probably 50 grand from it. And the circuit court, even though they were all the time telling me, you know, we can't officially help you and you need to get a solicitor or you need to act for yourself, but we can't be seen to be advising you. But actually, they were lovely because they could see how devastated I was. And I was more devastated by the betrayal of my childish hopes that my parents were going to help me than I was about the loss of, you know, land and bricks and mortar. Well, that pissed me off as well. But anyway, 2 days before the court case, I think it was 2 days, yeah, they rang me and they said, you need to let your father know, you know, that he has to appear in court. And at that point, I caved, I crumbled. I was just like, my dad's 80 or whatever he was at that time. He's 86 in July this year, but at that time he's about 80, and my whole Catholic thing kicked in, you know, even like I think the first commandment with the promise is honour thy father and thy mother, that thy days might be long and that things might go well with thee. So I just felt this like, whoa, like, how can I take my parents to court? How can I disgrace the family? How can I, you know, how I didn't have the courage. You know, maybe I should have, but really, no, I shouldn't have, because my father was ultimately stupid and gave the profit in the end to the Hamilton builder one from Navan. It's like he made about 150 grand clear profit from our family feud. So, you know, if my dad was stupid enough to take 12 grand for a site and planning permission and architect drawings, that's my dad's stupidity. So why would I sue my dad for 50 grand and he only made 12 grand off of it, you know? And I actually went to the Hamilton one's house in Navan. I found out where he lived, tracked him down, and I actually went to the house to say, you know, what the fuck, you know, you've just like sold my house for 260 grand, of which you gave 12 to my dad, you know, and spent maybe 80 building it. So like you've just made 150 grand profit off of our family feud. What the fuck is that? But actually he wasn't in. And it's not totally fair for me to say he's the bad guy, because having talked to my dad since, he apparently repeatedly offered my dad the chance to redeem the situation, you know, like, you don't have to pay me till it's built. And, you know, I mean, that's pretty amazing for a builder to say, I'll build the house and you can pay me at the end. That's pretty amazing. So I let that go. But anyway, the reason my dad was coming around to my house was not to build my house for me and help me out. It was to pay me off. And the £2,000 he gave me, the apparent costs of my dream. And then he gave me another 1,500 a few months later to buy a car. As far as he was concerned, his conscience was clear. So I don't want to drown in the misery of that. I tried so hard to reclaim the house. I took a Christian friend of mine, she was so lovely. After the house was built and I'd found out my father hadn't built it for me, he was actually offloading it because he had to leave it empty for a year before he could sell it. Because, yeah, when it's a family home built with rural planning permission, it's not for resale. So you have to have a decent mourning period. So you had to have a decent period before you could sell it. So it stood there empty for a year. And in that year, I realised, do you know what? This was not done for me. And that £2,000 was just to pay off. And and then I bottled out of the court case and I sent a letter to Paddy Cusick, my dad's solicitor, saying, you know, strong as my case was, you know, for you having fraudulently taken over my planning permission and my designs and gone back on your word with regard to giving me 4 acres, I still don't have the heart to do it to you. You're my parents. So I did that. And then in that year, and then I let the court case go. When I used to drive past there, which would be rare because it used to make me cry to drive past Rainbow Farm. It used to make me cry. If I drove up the driveway, it used to make me cry because it had such happy memories. And it had been our family dream. We were Air Force kiddies. My dad ran away and joined the Air Force when he was 19 in Belfast. And, you know, we were squaddy kids. We moved every 3 years till I was 12 and lived all over the world. So we never had roots. That's fine. You know, it's great. We learned languages. We travelled. We have a great time. But for us, Rainbow Farm was the first home. Like, oh my God, we live here. This is our farm. Oh my God, you know, there's the stables, there's the horses, there's the land. Daddy used to walk us across like 16-acre fields, like, you know, boundary to boundary, saying, this is our land, this is our land. And I totally got it. I got why the Pope kisses the ground. I got the whole distinction about why an Irishman would, you know, like shoot a brother for his land or whatever. I got the reverence for the land. You know, there's such happy memories of like even Phil Gallagher like driving us across the fields that was the farm, you know, in an open top Jeep or something and bouncing along and just rejoicing in the fact that we had a home. And like for years, every time we came home, we had to pick stones. George Walmsley, God love him, he used to help. You know, there were so many man hours and daughter hours of picking stones, the fucking stones. And we was like, why are we picking stones? Oh, to improve the quality of the land. We have to just pick the stones, and we would like fill trailer after trailer after trailer with stones in order to make the land fertile, you know. And, you know, we'd make hay and we'd experiment with having lambs, and every time they went to count the sheep, there's like a different number. It's like, oh my God, I've lost 3 sheep. Oh my God, I've gained 5 sheep. It's like we were so not farmers, you know. Dad tried cows. He had a cow called Daisy, and he had her for years. And he absolutely adored her. We used to milk her. It's like a milking cow. It's like It was just so lovely. And then she had a calf and he called her Upsa. I think Amory or Sharon named her Upsa because Upsa Daisy. It was lovely. Um, anyway, I'm waxing lyrical there, but still. So, Daddy took the house back and he gave it away to a builder, really, just for peanuts.